Greetings, comrades. I am Admiral Andre. Yes, we're all older, and I hope we're all wiser as well. It's funny how in the last episode of KSP I said, see you next week at the latest. And, well, it's 5 months later. But that's just how it is sometimes, comrades. Sometimes it's unavoidable, and other times, as I've said, I just don't have the energy. So, now at least let's continue again. Like I said, this will be our continuing series, so it's not going anywhere. Before we start though, I just want to show you the latest mod list. This is in CKAN, of course, so you can just follow along. In the meantime, I have been playing KSP on my own, of course, in my own save file, and I wanted to add some extra mods for that. Now obviously that will also affect our game, but it's really minor things only. So you'll see here the only real things I've added. I just want to see if I can find them. So the first one really is crew light. This one just is a very small mod. It just makes sure that basically any part that has a Kerbal inside will have its lights turned on. You can still turn all the other lights on and off, but that's a nice touch so you can immediately see where the Kerbals are. Then of course we know all the usual ones. The docking port alignment indicator I need to take off for obvious reasons. We don't need that anymore. So I'm going to unclick that and just apply changes. We don't want that. Now it asks a lot of different things. That's all Navy fish stuff. I'll just say delete checked. Don't think that will affect anything else. Right, what else? There are a few others. Final Frontier we did have last time with the ribbons and all that. We're still using Environmental Visual Enhancements Redux with Spectra. So that's still our graphics mod. With Scatterer, of course. The only other thing, I think there was the near future, this stuff here. There's the new near future spacecraft. All that does is, obviously if you're aware of near future mods, this one just adds a few extra capsules into the game. And I think we do need a few extra ones, especially larger ones, because once you get to the 3 Kerbal capsule, that's basically it. So this one does add a few extra ones, but we won't be using them very soon. Then these two are also related to that. The IVA props obviously just gives you the IVA visuals inside the capsule. And this one, there's some engines that come with this mod, and they all use monopropellant. So all that this mod does is it makes it liquid fuel and oxidizer. Again, I don't know if we'll be using that. I'll keep it stock as much as possible, but this is just something that I felt we needed to just fill up that little bit of extra options for capsules. And then of course there's near future construction, which we can also use later on. That's just bigger struts basically, which will be nice to use on space stations and so on. Then I think snacks is the other big one. I did want something that you have to supply to the Kerbals, but not the more in-depth ones with oxygen and waste disposal and all of that. Snacks is nice because it kind of amalgamates all life support into one. So we might just as well call this one supplies. We just have to make sure that craft have supplies and space stations as well. But it's not fatal, so we won't lose crew like that. I can change that later, but right now anyway it's not going to be an issue. It's just something we can play around with. Then stage recovery I also have for my other game, but this one again, it's only when we decide that we want to recover something, then this will make that possible. Again, not for early on. The other big ones I think are the stock-alike station parts, so just giving us more space station options. And there's also the planetary base ones for building obviously nicer looking bases. I think there's another gap in KSP for parts like that. So we can use those as well. The last one is the Kerbal attachment system, just because I do think sometimes attaching fuel lines and things are much better in that mod than with the normal stock game, because then you'll basically have to use a docking port or a claw, and with that it's just a bit more flexible. So that's it really. I know I said mostly stock, and it is still mostly stock, so there's no restock or anything like that. So I don't think there will be any changes here. Of course, if I share any craft with the where's that mod now? There's one for that as well. Now I've forgotten what the name is. Kerbal X, there it is. So if I use that to share any craft files, I'll obviously make sure that they are stock so that we don't have problems there. Anyway, now that we've just gone over some housekeeping, let's go back into the game, comrades. Right, comrades, welcome back to our Space Center, which is of course still in development. We did use the runway last time for a very precarious takeoff and parachute landing. But yes, here we are again, and it's just past sunset now on day 91, which is a Monday. So let's have a look what's next. If we just go back to our contracts again. Actually, we have a lot available. I remember these as well. I did go back and look at our last episode. Of course, we still have these two active. Explore the moon or Mun with a flyby, and of course gather scientific data from there. So this is still something in our future. We don't have to rush this. There's no deadline for this because it's one of those world first record keeping missions. The other one is to transmit or recover scientific data from space. So this will be done in our third mission, I think. We've done 2 orbital missions so far. So this is a very good thing because we always want to have a mission to make extra money from our orbital launches where possible. Now if we just have a look at our other ones, we of course have temperature surveys. This is a nice one for our Skylark plane because it's all below 17 kilometers, so we don't have to go too far. So I'll just check this one out as well, Saltonic. These are above, so I think we can ignore this for now. A VIP wants to orbit. A VIP wants to orbit. A decoupler landed at Kerbal. That might be easy money. So I think let's take that as well. Just make sure, one of our rules of course is that we must be confident that we can do this mission. I don't know what the TD-12 is. I think it's one of the side decouplers, but that's fine. We'll do that. We've had a look at this one. Focused observational survey. So that's a crew report below again. This is very interesting. We can do this one together with the other one. There's another one below. A temperature below. And test the ant landed at the moon. This is interesting. Last time we saw the mission for testing the skipper, I think, landed at the moon, which is definitely far beyond what we are capable of now. But getting this contract might not be a bad idea. This could be done for an uncrewed landing, you know, a very small landing craft, our very first landing craft to the moon with an ant. That should be very fitting, and we do have over a year to do this. Now, also fittingly, this comes from Jeb's company, so I don't see that this can be a problem. So we'll do this one. We will get a lot of money out of this, and prestige and science and all of that, and there's no rush to complete this. So I'll take that mission. Now let's just have a look. If we go to Not that one, this one. So it's the Zaltonic one and the 2 observational surveys. Let's just see where they are. Do our homework as usual. Now it's all concentrated around the main space center, so it's not going too far away. That's the Zaltonic one, so this is quite close. That's above, we don't do those now. There's the below, below, and below. So we'll have to basically fly in a giant circle here, very wobbly circle, but anyway, and then go back to the landing site. That might be worth it. One big mission just for flying around here. I think we'll do that. So I'll take that set of contracts. Right, just make sure it's the correct ones. The observational survey, crew report, we can do that. Below. Observational crew report below. And the temperature surveys below. Right, so I think that will be a big mission and probably our only one for today, just to ease us back into the whole thing. Now, Jebediah did the last mission flying around, so this will be Valentina's turn again. Let's just have a look if there's any other good prospects here. There's one that's extremely Kerman, extremely courageous and not too stupid. Let's just see. I like conventional names, so that's just, if I show you my normal save for KSP, you'll see that. But, of course, we can't ignore exceptional talent. We have to be on the lookout for that. So, Kerman, that's a very interesting name, and she's an engineer. Now, of course, in the future, we'll need a lot of engineers. But for now, pilots are the key for us. I think Bob has not even done one space mission yet. Should we take on someone else? Kerman. I wish we could vote on that, you know. I'll tell you what, Kerman. If we do this mission and come back and you're still waiting, then I will take you on. But then again, the question is, how long do I time warp now? So maybe I will hire Kerman. Alright, Kerman, you are our 5th member. Interesting name, but there we are. Kaus, welcome. You are exceptional. You're the bravest of us all. And the 2nd brightest after Bob. Here we go. Today we hired someone new. Okay, so I think let us maybe, since we did our last mission on day 82, so today is actually fine for that. I think I already time warped after the last episode. So let's just go to the next day at the Space Center. I could just warp to sunrise. Right, day 91, so this will be the day. Okay, now for this I don't think we need to redesign our craft. We can just use the Skylark that we have already. It was auto-saved, so I guess we can just load that one again. We do have the parachute. The actual takeoff was a big problem. We turned too quickly, so that's something we should learn for next time. I do want to change this spring and damper strength because the wheels were sticking through this top cover and I don't like that. So that should be better. Now the question is, we do have to take, I think it's 3 temperature surveys again. We still do have the 3 on the number keys here. And then of course the crew reports. But for this I think we should transmit the data. Just because again, otherwise we'll lose the 1 crew report. So now I just need to see how I can fit this in here. This is always the struggle. I have to go to the normal symmetry, overlap, and just get them relatively close. With an aircraft it's not as important. Now the problem is it's clipping through that one thermometer, so I just move it. Doesn't have to look very pretty there. And I think for this one we will add a battery. Let's just see what's our part count. At the moment it's fine. So for the very first time, comrades, we will be commissioning a battery from one of our subcontractors, namely Zaltonic Electronics. There's $800,000 for you, or Kerbal bucks, and our very first battery. Now for that I'll just more or less get it in the middle there. This is all behind the scenes stuff, part of the avionics, so I think that'll work out well. We have 9,000 meters per second. That should be more than enough for our requirements. We can still add 5 more parts. I'm wondering if it might be prudent to have extra parts as well. So the TD12 is actually this one. We might try and do this as well. I don't know where we would fit this on the plane. Maybe that's for the next one then. But we could actually develop this. So I'm going to do this. This is our first attempt at making use of drop tanks. But of course we can't drop them over populated areas. But we will have to do a wide mission now, a wide flight path. So I'll ask OMB Demolition Enterprises to develop for us a radial decoupler for the first time. Thank you. And we'll just add them on the outside. We already have the tanks for this. And of course a bit of tweaking. That'll do. It's not ultra nice. Let me just see. We don't have a nose cone for this yet. No. I could put another air intake there. That's not really necessary though. You know what I'm going to do? Let's take the parachutes. And try and recover this. It's still looking a little strange overlapping there. But anyway. Too many parts. I guess we're not doing that. Unless... in reality we can just, because now we can transmit things, we can just take one thermometer. We don't need 3 anymore. One of the other rules, of course, that we have is we must save or transmit the data to our clients. So that will do. And I just want to see on what key is that. That's key number 1. So key number 2 is going to be the crew report. And we can just close this. There, now we can recover these empty drop tanks. And of course we just have to make sure that their priority is higher than the normal ones. And that we do have crossfeed. Now I don't think we actually have crossfeed yet. Let's test this thing. No, we don't. No, we don't. We can't get that option yet until we get fuel lines. Oh well, pointless exercise, but it was a nice theoretical test. So I think this is all we need now. So we'll get our brave crew member, which will be Kaus Kerman. No, it will be Valentina. And we'll still keep this the Skylark. I don't have to say 1A for this because this is just part of the normal mission. And actually this would be Skylark 2 then. Specifically. No, I don't want to see the recording there. And our names, of course, I have added more names, comrades. So anytime you comment on this series, I add your name. If you don't see it come up, just make sure to shout in the comments that I still need to add your name. So, the name today is the very brave and honorable Poland Ball, which unfortunately cannot into space today. It just so happens that you're the one after Vivek's plays, and it's another aircraft mission, so I'm afraid you'll have to wait to go into space, Comrade Poland Ball. Anywho, I think that's about it. We can now just save and launch, and again this will be from the normal runway, so still using the dirt runway there, and from there I'll fast forward it again, speed it up a little with some music, the Ride of the Valkyries again, as I like to do, and YouTube does allow that, and then I will interject whenever I need to. Let's just hope the launch goes well. Right, here we are, comrades. Valentina is ready. Of course, that's another mod I have, is the texture replacer, so the Kerbals look a little bit more unique each time, or each one of them. So I think that's a welcome addition. Now you see the wheel is not clipping through the cover there. If you look back at the previous episode, you'll see that it does, and we also had that awful grinding noise from the sound mod. And so anyway, let's just look at our flight plan here. Of course, we have to be judicious in our approach. So I think we'll just go for the first one, then that one. It'll probably jump to this one. It doesn't matter, but we'll do the cluster here, then jump to the south, way over the ocean, and then come back again and then home. Right, activate area F-18 and go back. And it's a lovely day. Let's just have a look at our mission time. So we'll launch at 5 o'clock again. Day 91. Five minutes. Right, almost there. 60 seconds. Right, we've passed the 30 mark now, so now we just do the pre-flight check. Everything seems okay. Now there's no reverting, comrades. We do have our abort system, which worked beautifully last time. And let's hope for the best. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are clear to proceed, Comrade Valentina. Now don't turn, just fly normally. Oh no, 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 cut the engines. Oh, and it's a big disaster. Luckily she survived. So I'm not going to count this in our logs. We barely left the runway. So I think this is a lucky escape for her. There's a problem with these legs. Something is not right there. Maybe I will log it in our mission book, but no, that's not fair to Comrade Poland Ball, and we didn't even go anywhere. So I will just recover this flight, but it's like our test that we did in the desert. Luckily we weren't going too fast. What is the issue here? No XP, no ribbons. Let's just have a look. So what could be going on here? It deviates quickly, it starts to turn. I think it's because of the legs not being in the middle. I'll put them there and move them forward. But I do think we did this before and then just moved the legs down. So it shouldn't matter. Of course the legs don't want to be angled inward or outward, but that shouldn't be the case. And they don't steer anyway. Let's try again. So this is just trying to continue from where we left off. Comrade Poland Ball. Yes, we did have a crash, but we just tried to put some parts back together again. And for this one, this is just a simulation. Let's just do a simulation quickly. So I'm declaring it as such. Let's just see if we can get this thing to fly normally. That was the problem. Alright, revert. This was just a simulation. So, yes, it's because I added them onto this. Even at the center line, it still angles, you know, inward because the fuselage is angled. You have to do it back there, basically. Alright, so I think, yes, we'll leave it for Comrade Poland Ball. But this is now the real deal. I will exit here and just forward to the next day. We need to check what went wrong and just repair the craft. At least all the pieces were dropped on the runway and not far away, and then we can go again. So we'll just skip ahead. Yes, let's say exactly at midnight, obviously universal time, on day 94 then, on the start of day 94. Right, everyone is ready. Valentina is still good to go, and we will just proceed to do this again and see if we can avoid a disaster. Let me just have some coffee while we wait. Right. So we just have to wait a few seconds. Our timing was good here actually. Comrade Valentina, I wish you the best. 20 seconds. Wait, quickly. Log our flight plan. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You may proceed, Comrade Valentina. There we go. That was the problem, but it's been fixed now. Okay, so the great thing about the Waypoint Manager mod, of course, is it tells us how long we have to fly and exactly where we have to fly. So I'll forward this for your convenience. We're almost there. As you can see, also we do have the snacks on board, so that's good. Press 1 and transmit. We have to do that. Next point. And by the way, it does seem that about 10 kilometers is the maximum operational altitude of this craft. I can't remember if we actually reached 10 kilometers last time, but Valentina is determined to surpass any records that Jeb achieved. So we'll see if she can go above 10 kilometers. Of course, it will still be In the low atmosphere, I think the boundary is 18 kilometers, but still, she wants to show that she can also do great things. And by the way, look at the name, Bob Stupidity. Well, let's not tell Bob. And he's anyway the smartest one of the current roster, so I don't know where the name comes from, but it's always interesting for me to see how they name these things. Entering Bob Stupidity, well, it's a tough place to be, but let's do our science anyway. And our one contract is now complete. So now, of course, we have to about face to the other point. Let's just see if it's visible here. I don't think, because it's not part of the same contract, we still have to activate it. And that away. And she did reach over 11 kilometers. And on to Schiaparelli's legend. And we also gain some science out of that. There we go, another contract complete. One more, comrades. Site 2K9, I like that name. And then back home. And as you can see, the light is on in the cabin. That's the one mod. Oh, hard turn there, but that's alright. Not too terrible. And back we go. Of course, much more stable with the full control that we have here. We lost half of the flight surfaces on the first mission of this plane. And on the second one, well, the second 2.1, we lost all of them. And of course, here we are 2.2, I guess. I'll just note it in our log that we had a mishap at takeoff, but it's still the same mission. Right. Take the data and transmit it. Our contracts are done and we are at the very southern edge of our subcontinent. Ideally, oh, just slow down. Ideally, we want to land at less than 40 meters per second. I know that's not always practical, but that's the tolerance of the fuselage. And of course, the landing is worrying me. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll have to use the parachute. But of course, that's not going to help at the last second. Anyway, see you back home, comrades. And we're out of fuel. Interesting. I think it'll be fine though. Let's just lock to prograde so we don't slow down too much at this point. I think it doesn't matter if we land somewhere in the green area as long as we don't crash there, of course. That's not what we want. This is, as I said before, populated areas. But still, we're close. So luckily those drop tanks were not really necessary. But of course now the problem becomes, how do you land like this? These tiny little spindly legs don't like undulations in the terrain. We'll turn the brakes on, but I think we'll have to parachute, to be honest. I don't want to lose Valentina at this point, or ever. But we still have to slow down a little. Let's go more to the coast, away from those hills. I think we can glide at quite a low speed still. So let's do that. Drop some speed, give us true ground altitude. I want to F5, but I can't. This is for real. We'll just have to send a truck, imaginary of course, to tow the plane back to the runway. But it's close enough. We did fly quite a few 100 kilometers at least. Alright, we're slowing down a bit here. It's interesting, anytime I try to pitch down, the plane first goes up. You see, the nose goes up first, for some reason. Anyway, we're still flying at 62, so we're doing okay. Now I'm trying to pitch up, pitch down. It has the same initial reaction, goes up the nose anyway. Now I don't want to land there. This looks okay. Still, as I said, these spindly legs are not friends to any terrain basically. We're actually doing quite well. This is a very nice glider. Of course we are running out of land here, and if we turn now we'll lose all our speed. I think let's try it. Cross your fingers. We're gonna lose some things, but anyway, I was at least confident that at 40 meters per second this capsule would survive. As I said, these wheels are not made for any kind of terrain at all, really. So, not a great landing, but at least we can say Valentina did land on her own, not with a parachute. And of course there's pieces all over the place. I think most of them blew up. Not great. We can have some legal settlements with whoever owns this piece of land here. It's probably some farm or something. But anyway, it's okay. So Valentina's shaken up. She'll have to take some extra time off. It wasn't the greatest for her health, of course. But she survived to live. She lives to fight another day. Recover. So we had 2 crashes with the same mission. No, this plane is no good. I think we're done with planes for now, until we get better technology. Right, so that's okay, no science there. We were very close, of course, to home, so we did get some funds back. And Valentina is ready. She did earn lots of ribbons. The 1% fuel landing. So obviously she had no fuel. G-force of 6, research 4, and the significant contract because of all the money and science that we got. Still no flying. For some reason this is not giving any flying ribbons yet, like for aircraft. Anyway, we did leave a piece of the tail there, so I'll just have to recover that. So at least now the owners of the land are happy again. They don't want us leaving junk all over their land. Anyway, comrades, I think for this episode that will be all. This was just to get back into the game again, literally and figuratively. And I'm glad we did not kill Valentina. But we did get lots and lots of money and lots of science. Can we unlock anything? Not yet. But we do have lots of new scientific instruments we still have to use from last time. So I think next episode will be another space mission. Let's just see if there's anything we need to lock in right now. We're done with atmospheric observations. We could use a rocket to do that. Of course, to get the trajectory correct would be quite a challenge. This has to still be in flight, so anywhere between 18.4 and 70 kilometers, but I don't think so. Well, we might do one of these. And there's of course a flea as well. And then we still have some of the others like this one for the science. I think that'll be an exciting episode, comrades, and I'll see you next time. At least we're back with the episodes are rolling again. I hope you are well and that you've made it through this year and that you have kept your sanity intact, at least for the most part, and that I'll see you again very soon. Have a great day, comrades. And as always, I appreciate you all. It's like, an absentee landlord, and then once in a while I come and, check in again. But at least I'm grateful that some of you, most of you, are still here. So let's continue our adventure. See you soon, comrades.